greatest pleasure I've had is trying to do something that everybody says could not be done. I'll just share perhaps a moment in time which I will always cherish. I decided that India could produce its own car. Everybody, my friends overseas in the automobile business, said that this couldn't be done. We had to go through collaboration to get know-how, get technology. But we undertook to produce this car. You saw images of it in the video. It was called the Indica, and we produced it in India, totally of Indian content. The car did come out. It did earn a 20% market share, and we showed that we could do something.
Dynamism as a businessman and compassion as a citizen are two qualities that make him stand out from the rest. Today, we will talk about a very famous Indian industrialist and philanthropist, Ratan Tata. Be it Tata Nano or the acquisition of Jaguar Land Rover, he was known for taking bold and unprecedented decisions. During his reign, it ought to be noted that the revenue of the Tata Group grew over 40 times. All it takes is an idea and some capital to launch a startup. But it requires an entrepreneur and a leader like Ratan Tata to make a business self-sustainable and successful. He is an entrepreneur with ethics. His projects are developed keeping in mind the needs of the common man and also of the country. And this is a rare quality. Often chairmen and CEOs, in their attempts to please the board or shareholders, end up being myopic. Ratan Tata never committed this mistake. He is somebody who usually avoids the limelight and values privacy. Music, good literature, and his pet dogs are the most beloved and intimate parts of his life. It's surprising how, despite having world fame, an astonishing fortune, and an amazing life journey, Ratan Tata has never been mentioned in the Forbes billionaires list. Now let's take a look at his early life experiences and education. Often branded as an Indian-born visionary, industrial tycoon and philanthropist, Ratan Tata was born in Mumbai on 28 December 1937. He is the son of Naval Tata and Suni Tata. His father Naval Tata was the adopted son of Ratanji Tata and Navajbai Tata. In the play of time, Ratan Tata too was adopted by his grandmother Navajbai Tata following the divorce of his parents in 1948. He had to undergo a lot of ragging and humiliation at school due to the separation of his parents, as divorces were uncommon back then. Devoid of a functional family, it was his grandmother who instilled a young value system and ethics in him as a boy. He recalls how she had taught him how to always voice his opinions, but in a dignified manner. He got schooling from Campion School, followed by Cathedral and John Cannon School, Mumbai. Some years were also spent in the Bishop Cotton School of Shimla. In 1959, he received a degree in agriculture from Cornell University. On his return to India in 1961, he joined the Tata Group. He was initially appointed to work with Tata Steel Limited in Jamshedpur, where he worked under different departments within a span of 6 months. In one of the interviews, he revealed that the other employees perceived him as a part of the Tata family and did not hold him accountable for anything. He claims to have spent those 6 months simply trying to make himself look useful. As an apprentice on the shop floor, his duties involved handling furnaces and shoveling limestone. After acquiring that experience, he joined the management as the Director of National Radio and Electronics. Initially, he succeeded in elevating the company out of a slump, but owing to an economic slowdown, the company collapsed again. Thereafter, he was handed over another sinking company to save, the Mumbai-based Empress Mills. However, the management's refusal to allow an investment of 50 lakhs in it, along with the textile workers' strike, eventually led it to complete shutdown in 1986. He was finally appointed the chairman of Tata Industries in 1991 by J.R.D. Tata. This came as a surprise to many, as there were a bunch of other, more established and competent executives in the race of becoming the successors. Some of them being Rusi Modi of Tata Steel, Ajit Kerkar of Taj Hotels, Darbari Seth of Tata Tea and Tata Chemicals. Many of them openly protested against the appointment of Ratan Tata, calling it a clear case of nepotism. Ratan Tata has been credited with bringing about a lot many reforms under his leadership. Let's talk about a few of them. Under the leadership of Ratan Tata, group companies were made to pay certain royalty for using the Tata brand name. Additionally, it became mandatory for individual companies to report operationally to the group office. During his tenure, the Tata Group was seen exiting industries such as textiles, cement, cosmetics, etc., and venture into telecommunications, software, retail, and finance. He set up a company policy according to which the retirement age for senior executives was set at 65 and directors at 70. This move ensured the company benefiting from newer and younger talent. With all these reforms, Ratan Tata was able to re-establish the identity of Tata Group in a cohesive manner. Ratan Tata's incident with Ford has been one of the most interesting events that made it to the limelight. His dream of creating an all-Indian passenger car and entering the automobile market came true in 1998 with Tata Motors Indica. Unfortunately, it proved to be a total failure and ended up putting a lump sum financial burden on the Tata Group within the very first year of its launch. The company Ford expressed its interest in buying the drowning venture and invited Ratan Tata and his officials for a team meeting in Detroit. The 3-hour meeting proved that Ford had simply frayed interest in buying the company. There was much humiliation that Ratan Tata had to face at the hands of the Ford officials, who shamed him for getting into the passenger vehicle venture without complete knowledge about it. The deal was called off and the humiliation stayed with him for a long period of time. After returning to Mumbai, he conducted research about the vehicle industry for a few years and finally came up with Indica V2, which initially faced criticism at the hands of auto analysts, but its powerful engine, brilliant fuel economy, and great marketing technique contributed in making it a bestseller. Ironically, as Ford was staggering in bankruptcy a few years later, it was Ratan Tata who took over the company's iconic brands Land Rover and Jaguar for $2.3 billion. Ratan Tata is a man whose name and achievements have been equally generous. 66% of Tata Group's equity is used to assist various philanthropic activities. Ratan Tata could have easily been the richest person in India if he was not involved in various philanthropic activities. Tata Hall, based in California, is known to coordinate research between San Diego and India to assist infrastructural development in combating vector-borne diseases. It is the result of generous $70 million gift from Tata Trust. Tata Education and Development Trust is a philanthropic venture of the Tata Group, which provides a $28 million scholarship fund for undergraduates in India to study in Cornell University. The group has also donated $50 million for the construction of an executive center at Harvard Business School. TCS donated around $35 million to Carnegie Mellon University. Also, the Tata Group formed the Tata Center of Technology and Design at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology to assist the problems faced by resource-constrained groups, especially in India. Ratan Tata also provided relief to the victims and their families during the 26/11 Taj Hotel attack in Mumbai. With the onset of the COVID crisis in March 2020, he donated a lump sum amount of 2,500 crore rupees for crisis relief during both waves. Ratan Tata chose to remain a bachelor throughout his life. He is somebody who usually avoids the limelight and values privacy. He has received around 40 awards from various prestigious institutions, including the Padma Bhushan in 2000 and Padma Vibhushan in 2008. Ratan Tata is a man with a golden heart who continues to inspire millions of people across the globe. He has rightly said, if you want to walk fast, walk alone. But if you want to walk far, walk together.